welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Larry.
I'm Cyndi. Tara.
And I'm Josh. And today we are going to be going over yet another Longfellow poem, yet again selected by Cyndi, and it's called Footsteps of Angels. And specifically, his name is Henry Wadsworth Longfellow that wrote this. You have a discussion starter, Cyndi?
I do. I went back and forth between a couple of things, and this is what I settled on. Now, when Longfellow wrote Footsteps of Angels, he had just lost his wife in that tragic fire. Knowing this, the poem's vision of departed loved ones returning as angels feels deeply personal, as if he was trying to keep her with him. Does knowing the background affect how you see a work?
Yes, but I really admire the structure of your question. You have his wives mixed up. This was inspired by his first wife.
Frances.
No, that was his second wife. This is Mary Storer Potter. Because this poem came out in 1839, and Mary Storer Potter died in 1835. She had a miscarriage 6 months into
Wait, this isn't the one that was written in 1861?
No, this from what I gathered on the site, it was part of his first collection in 1839.
That's interesting.
Because, you could apply this to his second wife because she died tragically too. His first one, it was she had a miscarriage 6 months into her pregnancy, and she was never able to recover from it. And they were in Europe at the time. But he was with Frances Appleton for about 20 years. He was only with Mary Storer Potter for 4 years because she was 22 when she died. But I think that it does give this poem a great deal of meaning, and it shows a good approach to the way that he examines and sees death. Because I think ultimately it is about his wife, but he mentions more than just her. He also mentions a man at first, and then just mentions all of those in general, that all of those angels that visit him as he sits and ponders at night.
Or sleeps. And dreams.
There's that as well, but specifically, she approaches him at the table because she takes a vacant chair.
Mm-hmm.
I always took that at his bedside, but I'm like, this is how I took it. But it could be not that. It could be a table.
Mm-hmm. I saw it as a table. You could see it as a bed.
A bedside, like a chair at a bedside. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the fact that it was a wife and not a mother, is something that I didn't expect to find, because I found the way that he writes about this woman that comes and visits him as being very maternal.
You know what? But when I saw the word, and with them being beauteous, who unto my youth was given more than all things else to love me, and is now a saint in heaven, which I think that you could apply that to. There's some aspects, but
But I would certainly apply to a mother, as well as to a wife. But so to me, it takes on a very maternal tone, because maybe it's because I don't have a wife, but I have a mother, and that made me think of my mother. Mm-hmm. That might be why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think beauteous is more applied to a romantic partner or a lover rather than.
No, it could be God. God is beautiful.
You can see it
in the world everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother's love is beautiful. My mother was beautiful, and so no, I would say that that does not necessarily it evidently was. So that's it's
I just
fine.
think that the interaction and just the way I saw the demeanor was. I mean, it could, and one could argue properly, but just how I saw it, to me, I saw it as a romantic partner or lover.
Yeah, I like how he writes about how she's gently chastising. I don't remember the exact word that he rebuke. That's what it was, rebuke. The rebukes are gentle that come from her lips of air.
Oh, that was her last appearance in
Yeah,
the
but always with the blessing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's such beautiful language, and
Just the whole. I just think that the entire with a slow and noiseless footstep comes that messenger divine, takes the vacant chair beside me, lays her gentle hand in mine. This could also be in the living room too. Two chairs next to each other,
yeah, it could be.
like they're like recline, not really like uh, armchairs, but just beautiful and assuring. I feel. And she sits and gazes at me with those deep and tender eyes, like the stars so still and saint-like, looking downward from the skies. Just felt that was beautiful, and that
So wonderful.
that death is a physical loss, and that one can always exist within another's memories.
Well, yeah, but not just in memory, but in reality. Because he's being visited by a saint from heaven.
Hmm.
So she is alive and well.
Hmm.
And that is a beautiful, hopeful thought.
Mm-hmm. And I think that that's how he ends off. He has that ability to be depressed and lonely, but he's not afraid because he has that sense of assurance as he sees it at the very end. He knows that there are people that he has come across and that he's going to lose, and it's just that whole thing of it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Yes. And also there's the feeling of that last line talks about knowing that there are those like this woman who have lived and died, and how that gives comfort to us that we know that we can also attain such levels of consciousness where we are ourselves such wonderful people that maybe somebody one day will say something similar about us. And that at the final hour, in death, that you can keep your dignity and die. Not just to live well, but to die well. And these are two very hopeful sentiments, I guess is a word that I'm searching for. It's just, I don't know. I was so struck by this poem. It is so beautiful. Cyndi, say something about it, please.
But I really enjoyed reading this one. As I read all of Longfellow's works, but I find it to be very comforting, even a bit pastoral, in his structure, in the way he talks, his tone.
It's the soul that can
Yeah,
come up with this.
it's very soulful and very comforting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like comforting, kind of. I liked it.
Who do you think is the first subject he's talking about? He, the young and strong, who cherished noble longings for the strife, by the roadside fell and perished, weary with the march of life.
I mean, to me, it makes me think of Jesus, but I don't know. For sure, I can't say.
That's an interesting. I think it's an interesting take. I mean, what came to my mind was a general subject, and that they could have been somebody with a great and fine opportunity, but brought to death with something common from that day and age, and it could have been complications from working conditions. Like I know that they're like miners will develop problems. due to complications from what they do,
Mm.
like their lungs get filled up with that toxic dust or the dust that sickens them. And I also could have been a soldier, but I mean this wasn't necessary. If it was written during the Civil War era, as Cyndi had thought, it may have been. I think that I would have had more I would have been more inclined to think that it was a soldier. But the words young, strong, noble, strife, and march really stick out to me. And that's probably why I would have thought of it as a soldier.
That's why I thought
I
it was
would-
a soldier. I thought it was like he's thinking back when he back war, like whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, and there's a sense in which we are all soldiers, in that we are keepers of our souls against the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to keep ourselves preserved for eternity, and there will be much suffering in life. Suffering is a part of life.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's road, you will be oppressed by suffering, and it's how you die or how you live and die amidst that suffering that separates the living from the dead. You know, the saints from the damned.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's just this. He's talking about saints in general
Mm-hmm.
and saintliness and how life is suffering. That's just how it is.
I think that next line really talks about saints in general, where he says, and I quote, "They, the holy ones and weakly, who the cross of suffering bore, folded their pale hands so meekly, spake with us on earth no more." And I mean, I saw it as general number of people that innocently lost their lives, but they could be subject to sainthood. And the words I thought there were, the words that stuck out were holy ones, weakly, cross of suffering bore, pale and weakly. Or meekly, not weakly.
Yes, I think it all is.
Oh.
I think it's all talking about perhaps Christ is the He, and because He is the ultimate He.
Is it capitalized though in the poem?
There is capitalization.
Of him? Is it a capitalization of him? In the
I don't
poem?
know about this one. I write all capital letters, so.
No, I mean like in the actual
Do you
poem.
have the?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is
I don't
is
have
it is it a
Maybe
capital
I do
H?
have it. I don't know if it is or not. I know that He is, but I don't
No,
know
that's
about
what I
that.
mean. Like if he is capitalizing, then it is talking about.
Yeah, but it's also the first word of the sentence.
Oh,
Yeah, it is then. Because I know when we went over Spirits of the Dead a few weeks ago, he does he capitalizes the word hope, but not necessarily, and he capitalizes the G in God, which is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But there's no capitalization for
No.
because they don't even mention the word he or him.
What, in this poem?
I mean,
No, Spirits of the Dead from a few
he's
weeks
the
ago.
first line in that sentence.
Yeah. What is it?
So other than that, no.
But anyway, that's just what came to mind when I was reading it, because I don't know who else you would mention without naming
Mm-hmm.
like that. So, you know, so to me it would be like obvious who he's talking about, and the most obvious person that I could think of is Jesus. I mean, because this is obviously written by a Christian, right? Longfellow is a Christian, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said probably him. But at any rate, you know, what he's getting at though is that there is hope in of a hereafter, and hope of peace for those who have lost, those who, you know, who are predeceased, that we can have rest and hope that those that we did lose are still alive,
Mm-hmm.
just behind the veil. That's all.
Alrighty, was there anything else anybody wanted to say?
I couldn't help but compare the last week's poem with this one.
You mean when we did Spirits of the Dead a few weeks
Spirits
ago?
of-
Yeah. And how like Spirits of the Dead is like the morbid and dark kind of, and this one's more like hopeful.
Yes, I agree
Bookends.
with that.
bookends,
Yeah,
light
they're
and
like
dark.
the bookends.
Mm-hmm. And they were contemporaries too. Poe and Longfellow were
Yeah.
the same
They
age.
would have been.
They're often studied alongside one another. Or yeah, they are studied alongside one another. The class that I was thinking about though was Poe, Hawthorne, and Melville that they teach at my alma mater. But Longfellow wrote around the same time too.
That's so interesting because they are such vastly different perspectives
But they're
Mhm.
talking about kind of like the same thing, but not quite.
from different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like Longfellow lived a more positive lifestyle.
And
too.
more tranquil. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we have any final thoughts?
Well, Cyndi, my final thought is thank you for constantly recommending Longfellow, because I
just love the guy.
love his writing,
Always have.
and I wouldn't be familiar with it like I am because of you. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
And it is beautiful work. Oh my goodness, man! It really humbles you, to know that such talent is possible in this world, and to put it to such good use. Thank God for Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
And don't forget, he wrote any number of, I don't know how many, but he wrote quite a few hymns for the church.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Mm.
He's obviously a very devout man. He has
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a deep and steadfast understanding of the reality of things. So God bless him.
I need to have a complete collection of his poems. I have a selected collection. And none of the poems that we went over that you selected were on there. We went over Paul Revere's Ride, or also known as the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere, and that one was very impactful with the way that people saw the myth of the creation of the country. Paul Revere is often viewed solely by rushing down the streets yelling the British are coming.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with Longfellow's poem creating this folklore in order to rally up enthusiasm for the Union cause during the American Civil War.
Yeah, he was active in it.
Yeah.
He was an
Mhm.
activist, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember going over that one.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, if you are interested in reading Longfellow's poetry, I will leave a link down to the website where you can find it. I would like to get a complete collection. I'll go look for one. And so I'll have something to show you, and then also be able to refer to something physical the next time we go over something that he's written. So, thank you for tuning in, and be sure to join us next time on another episode of Glory Gladiators. For now, keep reading.